Hey, good evening. Good evening. How you doing? This Big Unk. Getting back with you. It's late in the evening. I had a long day. Did a little overtime this morning. Slept in. Then got up and worked out. So I'm back for my other segment of just spreading the gospel to you guys and a positive message. That's it. Just spreading the gospel and a positive message. One thing that I'd like to talk about briefly is where we going as a people. And I'm not being biased, but I'm being direct. And what I mean by our people as black people. Where we going as black people? Why do we have to be so against each other in the workforce, in the family, when we're trying to make progression and coming up and be successful and wealthy? Why we have to hate on each other so much, and why we don't hate on the other races, the other race of people as much as we hate on ourselves? Why we have to pull each other down? Then the next thing I want to discuss is why have I or you experienced black women and black men so against each other, and we treat other races better than we treat our own selves? So you have to ask yourself that, because that's a topic waiting to be discussed. Why do we treat each other so bad? Why do we treat each other so awful? Why do we talk about each other and try to bring each other down? And we have other races of people that just shit on us, and we look at it and it's okay. But we hate each other so much to the point that we don't want to see each other come up. Even I fall in that category. And I've learned over time to deal with it, to progress, to forgive, and move forward as well. So even I deal with that. But I know that I have gotten better with that. So that's basically it. Like, why do we just hate each other so much? Why do we deal with each other the way we do so much? So I'm not going to be before you long, because I'm a little tired. I want to get me a couple hours in before I go to work. So let me continue this time in chapter 2, verse 8. And we're still reading in the book of Genesis. And it says that, "And the Lord painted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put man whom he had formed." So God put man in the garden eastward of Eden. And he said, "And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant in the sight and good for food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil." So God gave us food. He gave us trees, to eat of food because they bear fruit. And it says that, "And out of the ground God made the Lord God. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four hands. And the name of the first is the Physon, that is which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold that is land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is the Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is the Hiddekel. That is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates." So right there, we had four rivers to come out of the Garden of Eden, eastward of Eden. And God gave these rivers to help add upon our life and to give us what we need to survive as well. So that's what those rivers were there for, also for food. Because if you pay attention to the first verses that I've read, that God also gave us dominion over the sea, the air, the beast, and every creeper crawling thing. And in there, they had animals and fishes and things that was fruitful and multiplied, and gave us that for food. So that's the same thing that God did for us right here. He gave us that for food, for us to survive. And with that came the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So just to let you know is that, you know, God is creating a mighty work, a great work for us. And God is making sure that we have what we need to survive. And also those same things that is provided for us through a natural resource. Even sometimes I wonder why we still have to pay for it. But then I understand, because things are tampered with. So you want to pay for stuff that's clean and purified. But anyway, that's my word for you today. Just, you know, keeping it positive. You know, staying on the positive note as always. And just, why do we treat each other the way we do? It has become and became ridiculous. So just want to say I thank you for your time. And this is Big Unk signing out. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show, which is very brief. And I'll begin back with you shortly. God bless. I love you. And always remember, one love. Peace out.